Right, we should be live. So, hello and welcome anybody who's watching us. This is tonight's session is a fill-in session for Curse of Strahd campaign that some of us are currently playing in. First of all, apologies for the lack of video. I've only recently installed XSplit, had it all up and running earlier, but gremlins have seemed to have invaded the computer room, and for whatever reason I've got a black screen tonight, which is rather frustrating. But hopefully you can see in the other window the module PDF that I'm going to be running tonight. The game is called The Curious Case of Ellery Kingsman. We've got 3 players tonight. We've got Lee, Craig and Dave. Lee and Craig both play in the Curse of Strahd campaign along with myself, and Dave has kindly volunteered to jump in tonight to add an extra bit of support for us. So I'm going to ask each of the characters, each of the players there, to introduce their characters so you can have a taste of who they're going to be today. So we start off with Lee, if we may. Can you just introduce your character and tell us a little bit about him?
Theodek the Hammer Storm Miner is a mountain dwarf barbarian. He is also a noble, which he hides very well, as he wears nothing but blacksmith's outfit, huge welding gloves, and has a bit of a temper.
Ah, okay. Thank you very much, Lee. Craig, can you introduce Ina for us?
I'm playing Ina Brownfoot. I'm a hill dwarf rogue, and if you ask her why her surname is Brownfoot, she's going to shove her foot so far up your arse, you're going to figure it out yourself.
Excellent. Very cool. Okay, and Dave, finally, could you introduce your character Bale for us, please?
Yeah, I am playing, I've totally forgotten now, Bale Redmore. He is a human ranger, and he spends most of his time foraging in forests and looking down into deep caves. He likes to be on his own a lot of the time, but he's always got quite a level head on him. So.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as I said, this is a fill-in session. Our regular DM has his wife's just given birth to a baby, and he's taking a bit of paternity leave, so we're filling in for tonight. The module we're running, as I mentioned earlier, is called The Curious Case of Ellery Kingsman. It's written by a good friend of mine called Mark Palmer, another UK DM based up in Scotland. You can buy it on the DMguild, and I'll stick a link to the module in the comments below this YouTube video if any of you want to check it out and have a look at it. Okay, so without further ado, we'll crack on. So we left the last scene in Curse of Strahd. We were left holed up in a church in Barovia. Myself, Ina and Bale were there. We were holed up in the church, doors all locked, windows all shut, and Strahd had just appeared outside the churchyard with a pack of wolves. He was knocking on the door, asking us to give up Irina, who is the sister to Ismark, one of the local villagers, who is asked for our help to try and rescue Ina from Strahd, who's taken a fancy to her. So, as we are in the church, you can hear a pounding on the door, and Strahd is shouting and cursing outside. He demands that we release Irina, and as we're arguing with him, he laughs and cackles, and all of a sudden a pink kind of foggy smoke, similar to the fog that we've witnessed previously throughout our campaign, our adventure, begins to seep underneath the door of the church, and before we know it, we're kind of looking at this fog, and we start to drift off, and slowly we lose consciousness, and it's not long before we awaken, and Theodek and Ina, you look around, and there's only the 2 of you there currently. You look around and you can see a curious chap in front of you, a stout looking fellow with a top hat and a thick coat, holding a walking cane, and he's got a sword about his waist, and you look around, and almost as if it's materialising in front of your very eyes, another human appears, which is Bale, which is you. So a hand over to you guys. This is the scene in which you find yourself. So none of you... Yeah,
Theodek goes into a massive rage and kills everybody.
So you're all quite confused as to how you've appeared here. Whatever you were previously doing, wherever you were, this sort of pink misty fog has surrounded you, and as you've been looking and breathing it in, you've slowly lost consciousness, and you've awoken in a city street, in a side alley in a city street, and in front of you is this stout looking human chap with a top hat, a thick coat. He's got a sword about his waist and a walking cane.
Greetings.
Ah, hello, it worked.
We were kind of busy. What's the manner of this?
Yes, well, we're all busy, aren't we? Oh, I'm glad you've turned up, and I'm glad it worked. How are you? My name's Colin.
Theodek.
Well, hello there, Theodek.
Why over here?
Ah, well, you see, I didn't think it was going to work, to be honest. I mean, I asked Madame Octavia for some help, and she gave me the beads, but I didn't really think it would work. But here you are. Miracles do happen, I suppose.
Beads? We've never met.
No,
Normally ask for dinner first.
Don't worry about that. Let me introduce myself properly. I'm Colin. I am the chief of the city guards. I have a little problem, and well, you know what government cutbacks are like these days. I just didn't have the resources to deal with it myself. It's kind of a personal matter, you see. So, well, I went to see my friend, Madame Octavia. She's at one with the universe, you know. I don't really believe in that kind of thing, but, well, she does. And I asked her what I should do about it, and well, she gave me these beads and told me to throw them on the ground, and the universe will answer my call. Well, I threw them on the ground, and the next thing I know, here you are. So I guess she was right.
So, whereabouts is here?
Here?
Yeah.
Well, this is Ink Longtown.
Bless you, chappy.
Have you heard of it?
Never in my life I haven't.
Well, the world is a mysterious place, and must admit, I don't really recognise the garb that you find people are wearing either. But there it is. I asked the universe for help, and the universe have sent you. So there we are.
I suppose the universe don't have a wrong number. That would have helped me quite much.
So what kind of skills do you have? Because I have a little problem that I'm rather hoping you guys have been sent to help me with.
I smash stuff.
You smash stuff?
Yes.
Right, okay. And what about you two?
Well, I'm honestly not sure why I'm here. I was quietly tending to myself in the forest, but I was here, and I'm not sure what help I can be. I tend to keep myself to myself, if I'm honest.
Oh, well, obviously the universe has got a greater need for you than tending stuff in the forest. Perhaps you're good at investigating and seeking answers to things. Would that be right?
Potentially, yes. I do like a good mystery.
Well, there you are, good man. That's why you're here. I'm so glad that you're on board with this. Lovely. And what about you? You're very quiet.
That's just a little bit bewildered about what's going on, really. I'm not sure if I like that fact that I'm here. Those wolves seemed a lot more friendlier.
Well, I can assure you no one's more bewildered than myself, but there we are. There's a higher power at work and they have plans for us, so I guess we should just crack on with it. So here's the thing, I have a bit of a personal problem. It's a little bit embarrassing, and I'm rather hoping that you chaps can help out. There's this lady, you see, and her name is Ellery Kingsman. Now, Laura and I go back a long way. We were at school together, you see, and there's nothing like that about any of this. She's just an old friend, and she's looking for my help. It's, well, it's rather embarrassing, really. Her husband, Ellery, he was quite a distinguished gentleman in these parts. He passed away about 2 weeks ago. That's the thing, and we were all there at his funeral. Very sad affair, lots of tears and flowers, that kind of thing. Anyhow, about 2 days later, he returned home. but he's not quite the same as he once was. And, well, she would like me to kind of look into the matter, but I can't. I'm tied up with town guard duties at the moment. I don't really have the manpower to spare. The cutbacks have really hidden us all hard. And so I'm rather hoping that you guys can discreetly just go and investigate for me and find out what's going on. It doesn't seem right that Ellery has just reappeared from the grave. And Laura is a little bit uneasy about the whole thing. Do you think perhaps you could go and find out what's going on for me? It would be, I would be very grateful.
If you want it discreetly, you asked the wrong person.
Well, she doesn't know you, so perhaps that's a good start.
Well, I have to say I am inclined to agree with my short new.
Hey, who you call it short?
Well, you're shorter than me, so you know. I have to agree. I still can't see my part in this, if I'm totally honest, and I do believe it should be handled by somebody who actually knows her and who knows the husband.
Yes, you're probably right, and I didn't really know what else to do. You see, I rather like Laura, and I think perhaps if you guys could get to the bottom of this, she may be, well, quite grateful, if I'm honest. And yeah.
So you're telling me that you would rather the husband return to his grave then?
Well, let's just say the whole situation is rather unusual. Folk in these parts don't tend to die and then reappear. I mean, I know it's Easter and everything, but even so, it seems a little bit odd. And well, Laura and I go back a long, long way, and I'm sure that our relationship might blossom if I was able to help her with this matter. If you know what I mean, wink, wink.
Can I ask how did was it Ellery? How did he die?
Well, I don't really know, you see. George Holden has found him. He's Ellery's personal assistant. From what I understand, he found him in the kitchen, stone cold dead, and no one thought any more of it. Until he reappeared 2 days later. I think he's at home now, so perhaps you might want to start by talking to him. George can be found in his office. Laura is at home with her husband, allegedly Ellery, and I don't really know where to go from there. I need to keep a professional distance, you see, being the chief of the city guard. But yes, if you could deal with it discreetly, I would be much obliged.
Well, I suppose I've got nothing more to ask. I suppose we could take a look at least since we're here.
Oh, jolly good. Well, let me tell you, Laura's house is just down the way, just down there. You'll see it. It's the one with the blue door with the big brass knocker.
Yes, I'm not sure. I'm saying this quietly to myself that I'm not sure that's the only knocker he wants to be familiar with.
As long as I get the drink or smash stuff, I don't care.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be something to smash, my stout fellow. I like the cut of your jib, I must say.
Am I to assume that like all of our equipment's come with us and stuff then, yeah?
Yeah, everything that you would normally have. Any of your spell slots are renewed. You're all on your health points. Everything that you would have as if you were just newly leveled up after a long rest.
Sure. Okay.
It's a shame we didn't start at level 4. God damn it. Could have helped with that one extra skill point in strength. Right, are we off?
Yeah? Okay.
Are we playing with this knocker first?
Yeah, I'm ready to head down to the address, yeah.
Okay. So you wander down the street. It's quite a busy little town. There's plenty of people mooching around and nothing seems untoward to you. It's probably late in the evening, drawing near to dusk. But other than that, it's a fairly kind of undescript Victorian scene is probably the best way to describe it. Before you know it, you're standing in front of this door, blue door, with a big brass knocker upon it.
I'm gonna walk straight up to it and knock on the door.
I am
Okay.
probably too short to reach the knocker.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you knock on the door slowly creaks open, and standing before you is a middle-aged human woman. She's got long blonde hair and blue eyes, and she's fairly attractive in her own kind of way. And she says, hello?
Hello. This is rather awkward, actually, but Colin sent us.
Oh, Colin, yes, I know Colin.
Yes, and I'm sure he knows you too.
We've been friends a long time. Any friend of his is a friend of mine. What can I do for you?
Got any
Well-
whiskey, love?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
You got any whiskey? I need a drink.
Ah, yes. Well, I've got whiskey, but I don't give it to strangers. Perhaps introductions would be in order?
Well, in all fairness, you did just say any friend of Colin was a friend of yours.
That is a fair point. Are we to gather that you can't be taken at your word, madam?
Whoa, that's quite an introduction there. I simply meant before you came into my house, it would be common courtesy to give me your names.
Name's Theodek. Whiskey?
Hello, Theodek. Yes, I have whiskey. And who are your companions?
I am Bale, madam.
Ah, hello there, sir.
Ina.
Ina. Hello, Ina. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
Ah.
How about yourself?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Well, at least I think I am. I've been a little uneasy the last couple of weeks, but yes. Anyway, I won't dwell on that. How do you do? Pleased to meet you. I'm Laura Kingsman, and I'm the lady of this house. What is it that you've called for?
Well, Colin mentioned to us about your husband dying and then deciding to come home for the night.
Gosh, keep your voice down, please.
I was about to say, you should have brought us in before we started talking about this.
Well, okay. Right. If you can just give us a quick insight check, guys.
Can indeed.
Oh dear. This is going to be good.
I have +5 to that, so 23 for me.
I'm really glad you can't critically fail on these checks, because I got a solid 2.
Oh,
It's alright, I rolled a natural 1.
oh Christ. Okay,
Me
so
too,
Bale
that's what I
seems to
said.
be the only one that notices that Mrs. Kingsman, Laura, is actually pretty terrified. There's a tremble behind her voice that the other two haven't quite detected, but your intuition tells you that she is really quite scared at the moment.
Okay, I'm just gonna note that and keep that to myself for a moment.
Okay. If you'd like to come in, please just keep your voices down. You're going to have to come into the kitchen. I normally entertain guests in the front room, but my husband's home and he's not quite himself. And she ushers you into the kitchen. There's a fairly nice kitchen. They're obviously a middle class family. There's plenty of food on the shelves, and the cutlery and pots and pans and everything else are that of a middle class sort of family. There's a nice big farmhouse table in the centre of the kitchen, and the Arga's burning away nice and warm in the corner.
Are there any pictures of the family or her and her husband there?
Yeah, there's pictures as you walk down the hallway. You can see pictures of her arm in arm with a taller gentleman that you assume, having not asked her, that it could be her husband. Yep.
Okay. And how does he look in those pictures?
He's tall. He's about a foot taller than her. He's wearing a fairly nice suit, top hat. He looks like any of the gentlemen that you passed on the street on the way here. Nothing Nothing to distinguish him particularly against anybody else.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna catch up to Laura and be just slightly louder than whisper and say, Madam, is there anywhere else that we could talk that isn't necessarily inside the house? I believe that this could be a rather sensitive matter for your husband, and we wouldn't want him overhearing.
He was asleep in the front room. I'm not sure that he can hear us in the kitchen, but by all means, if you want to step out the back, there's a small yard. That might be better.
I think that might be better, yes, especially, for your sake as well. It could be quite sensitive.
Okay. And she just leads you out the back. And it's a small little yard, not much going on there. There's a bit of washing on the line. But other than that, it's as you would expect.
Okay.
I really don't like the term "as you expect" because I expect like hell to break loose.
As a player, this is Dungeons and Dragons. But as we expect is not as our characters would expect.
Oh, I beg your pardon. The yard looks like any. I'm going to use the word Victorian, although that doesn't really exist where you are. But it's a Victorian-esque looking house, and the yard is that you would see in the back of a Victorian house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna, as we get outside and stand and talk, I'm gonna ask her now. Now, I think it's probably best if we start at the beginning, and if you can tell us exactly how, or what was the cause of your husband's death initially.
So you'll hear about my husband, I see. That explains why Colin sent you. Well, it was all rather sudden. His personal assistant, George, found him. He was in the kitchen. Nothing particularly interesting had happened that day, and George found him sitting at the kitchen table, slumped over his soup. We were all quite shocked and sad. The physician came and examined him and told us that he'd had a heart attack whilst eating his dinner. They later came and took him away, and that was the last we saw of him.
Don't colour me sceptical, but dead men don't normally return home.
Well, this is what I thought, and I was quite shocked. Let me tell you. But
I'd be pretty shocked too. I've killed many a man.
He knocked on the door and I opened it, and there before me was Ellery. My heart was quite a flutter, I must admit. And I let him in, and he came, and he looked just like he always has, but he just doesn't seem quite as he once did. His voice is slightly different. He doesn't seem to be able to walk. I don't know, there's something changed about his mannerisms. The food that he used to like, he doesn't seem to have a taste for. And I don't really know how to say this politely, but he smells in a way that he never used to smell. It's just something's not right. I'm quite upset, and I saw Colin and told him all about him a couple of days ago, and he said he would try and help, and here you guys are.
You are aware the possibility of this being your husband is very slim.
Well, my heart tells me it's him, but my head tells me something different.
Unfortunately, your instinct could be wrong because of your love for your husband. But we will investigate, I think. As long as there's whiskey, I'll investigate.
Let me get you that bottle now. And as she says that, she returns into the kitchen, and you can hear some voices. And about 5 or so minutes later, she returns to the back garden with a rather tall, ugly-looking half-orc. and she looks at you, Theodek, and says, here's your whiskey. Help yourself as much as you like, and if you can fix this problem, I'm sure I can find you some more. Colin said, well, this gentleman's arrived. He said he's one of Colin's guards. He was sent just to keep an eye on you guys. Is that okay with you?
Alright, introduce yourself.
And let me just cut in. So for the benefit of anybody watching at home, one of our other players, Dougie, has just arrived. He was a little bit tied up this evening, but he's arrived for the game now. Can you just introduce your character, Dougie, and tell us who you're going to be and what your character is?
Yeah, good evening all. I'm Dougie, and this evening that's quite loud. Let me turn that down. There we go. Okay, this evening I'm playing a half-orc called Grungish, who is one of the city washed, who's basically trying to work his way up the ranks. He tries to get involved in everything, gets flustered easily, and tends to resort to his fist when things go wrong.
I like him already.
Okay, and so at this point, Grundish doesn't really know anything other than Colin has asked him just to tail the three strangers that he's sent to go and help his beloved Laura. And he's given him the address, and Grundish has arrived at the house and using his own initiative has knocked on the door, invited himself in, and here you all are.
I'm gonna turn to Grung. Is it right? Is it Grundish or Grungish?
Grungish.
Cool. I'm going to turn to Grungish and say, am I to assume that Colin has sent you, sir? Yes.
Correct.
Ah, brilliant. And has he informed you as to why we are here?
Nope. I'm just here to keep an eye on you. Make sure you work within the realms of the law.
I'm going to turn to the other two and say, I think it's only fair that as he's here, he may be able to help us with our investigation. I think it's probably fair that we fill him in.
Alright.
You want to fill me in? I'll give you a fight.
No. Give you the information we've received, sir.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you. That would be good.
If you wanted that type of filling in, I can do that after we've finished our investigation.
I'm not sure that's exactly what he means, sir. But whatever you're into, maybe.
Aye, I'll smack her with my hammer.
Right. So I'm going to give Dougie the Grungish. Sorry, it's been a long day. I'm going to give Grungish the an update as to what's happened, and I'm going to actually have to do that because he hasn't heard any of it. So I'm not going to do it in character because I can't be bothered if that's okay. I know. Basically, we have been magically transported to this strange world where we are now by...
As you do.
Yeah, by means of magic beans.
Beads or beans? I can't remember which one it is.
I wrote down... I don't know. What did I write down? I wrote down beads. Sorry, yes, beads, not beans.
Magical beads. That sounds even worse.
Yes, it does.
Magical love beads. To be more
That's what I asked.
By this, the head of the city guard, or was it the head of the city guard, or a member? Yeah, chief of the city guard.
Yeah.
Called Colin, who wears quite a nice top hat, by the sound of things. Which
I know him well.
Yeah. And he asked us to investigate the strange occurrence of the husband of Laura Kingsman, whose husband died 2 weeks ago, and then 2 days later decided he wanted to go home. Returned from the dead and turned up on his front door, and now he's not quite the same. So we are at Laura's house in her backyard, investigating as to what's happened. And that's pretty much it. I don't think I've missed anything.
Well, you know these mortician types, they get it wrong all the time. He probably wasn't even dead.
Aye, but apparently he doesn't eat what he used to eat. He doesn't smell like he used to smell.
Well, if you've been asleep for 2 days and people have been doing strange things with you, I think I'd change my character a bit too.
Aye, I agree. It's a bit strange that a dead man walked home, though.
I'm going to turn to Laura and I'm going to ask her, Madam, does your husband know that he was dead, or is he under the impression that he's still very much alive?
Well, that's the funny thing. He doesn't seem to have any memory of it at all. I tried to ask him, but he just changes the subject and gets a bit gruff.
Well, I'm thinking that, that before we cause any undue stress to Laura here and her husband, we should probably go and visit with the with his either his assistant or the mortician.
Right, the mortician probably is the best to get answers, because he pronounced the man dead and said man walked home.
Yes, exactly. I would suggest that either he's not doing his job correctly, is incompetent, or something actually is happening.
You could say something's afoot. I'm hoping he has both.
Yeah.
I'm not the smartest of fellas, but you say he doesn't eat what he normally eats, so what's he eat now?
Well, his tastes have changed. Where he used to like chicken, he now likes fish. Where he used to eat his vegetables, he now can't stand them. It just doesn't really make sense. It looks like him, but it just doesn't seem to be him. And as you're talking to her, you hear her, Laura! And she turns and says, "Oh, that's Ellery now. I'll be back in one moment." And off she scuttles into the house.
I'm going to try and sneak in after her to see if I can catch any of the conversation.
Okay. Give us a... are you trying to sort of remain hidden? So do you want to give us a stealth roll?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then.
Okay, where's my skills gone? I'm using this D&D Beyond thing, and it's getting some use, taking some getting used to. That is a 18.
18, lovely. So yeah, you quite easily can slink after her, and she goes through the kitchen into the hallway and turns right into what you assume is the front room, and you can hear them chatting away. You can hear a man's voice, quite deep. He's asking for a cup of tea and some biscuits, and he wants
Cup of tea and biscuits. There's nothing wrong with him.
Cup of tea and biscuits, and she sort of agrees with him and says that she'll fetch it. And before you know it, she's coming back out of the front room, and she has a bit of a start as she sees you in the hallway, and says, "Oh, have you finished out in the yard?"
Yes, sorry, madam. I was just looking for your facilities, so I can just before I go.
Oh, well, the bathroom's just at the top of the stairs if you want it. Ellery's asked for a cup of tea. He seems to like his with a teaspoon of salt in it nowadays. He never used to. It always used to be sugar. I don't really understand. But I'm putting the kettle on, and you guys are welcome to have a cup of tea as well if you want.
I won't, thank you. I have a flask of my own refreshments, but my fellows might actually. Yes.
Oh, okay. As I said, the bathroom's just at the top of the stairs. I'll ask them as I go out into the kitchen, and off she runs into the kitchen.
Okay. I'm going to have to go upstairs now because it was an excuse.
I'm in the garden enjoying my whiskey.
So she's just going to pop her head out into the backyard and just say, I'm popping the kettle on. Do any of you chaps want a cup of tea?
I'm right, thanks. I've got my whiskey.
And how about you two?
Sorry, madam, on duty. Not allowed to drink.
Quite right, quite right. And Ina, cup of tea? I've got some freshly made
all right, thank
biscuits. Okay, well, if you're sure. And she pops her head back inside and busies herself in the kitchen.
I'm going to take this moment to take a nosy round upstairs as quietly as I can.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Mhm. So it's only a 2-story house. You're at the top of the landing. The door in front of the stairs is the bathroom, and there's 3 other doors on the landing.
I'm just going to go to the closest door to me,
Okay.
other than the bathroom.
Okay, so that opens up into a bric-a-brac room, just a sort of a storage room. Not a lot going on in there.
Delete. Sick bastard.
I don't know how to delete this.
Click and hold. Click and hold it.
It's made it bigger.
I guess you could say Happy Easter to that.
Do your balls hang low? Do they wobble?
For the benefit of millions of viewers, we've just had a seasonal Facebook message that has tickled our fancy.
That's quite an appropriate way of saying it.
And what a time to send it.
Yes. Fortunately, my webcam isn't working properly. Otherwise, I'd share the love with the rest of the world. But we're safe tonight.
I absolutely deleted that.
I hope that's gone off my actual Facebook.
What do you mean I've posted it to my status?
I do apologise.
You're going to get me thrown out the scouts, you lot.
I think you can do that by yourself, mate.
Fucking love
Brilliant.
beads and shit.
Bear with me one sec, guys. Oh, hiya.
Bye then.
Take care. See ya.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. So, yeah, she's gone back inside to make a cup of tea. Bale, you're upstairs in a small box room, which is full of bric-a-brac.
Yep.
Ina, Theodek, and Grungish are outside, having declined a cup of tea.
So we're going to see this mortician or what?
Aye. That's the plan.
Sorry, go on. Okay, it's me. Is there anything like standing out? Can I see anything that might be helpful? Like I said, I'm just snooping around. So if anything jumps out at me, that'd be,
Give us an investigation check if you like.
If something jumps out at you, I'd be fucking worried because we're outside.
Yeah, true.
It's a mimic.
Aha! We all laughed. The table laughed. Investigation. That's the one.
Just don't grip the shaft.
2.
2. It is just a bric-a-brac room, but what you do notice is there's rather a nice collection of model trains. You assume they might be Ellery's. He was obviously an avid collector of model railways.
What year is this set?
This is fill in the blanks.
Because if he wants to know anything about trains, I can let him know all he needs to know.
Oh, we have another enthusiast in the house.
I wouldn't say enthusiast, but I'm paid to know that stuff, so...
Oh, I think these are HO gauge, if I'm not mistaken.
4'7" 3/4", eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am. I'm going to move along to the next room quickly. Try and be as quick as I can.
Okay. So the next room is a kind of a guest room, I guess. It's got a single bed in it, but it looks like it's been used relatively recently, and the room is as a parent would describe, a filthy pigsty. Looks like a teenager's bedroom. There's kind of, the beds are unmade, nothing's been washed. There's clothes all over the floor. It's a bit of a state in there.
Anything? Hang on, what's these? Yeah, anything jump out at me there?
Anything what, sorry?
Anything stand out?
Give us an investigation check.
18.
18. It is interesting that all the clothes seem to be adult clothes. Male adult clothes.
Male adult.
That would be something that strikes you as being odd in a guest bedroom.
Okay, so is it fair for me to assume that potentially Ellery hasn't been sleeping in his marital bed and he's been staying in here?
It's certainly a possibility that might have crossed your mind.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move along straight on to what will be the master bedroom, just to double check what it's like in there.
Door number 3, please.
And in the master bedroom, it's a very feminine looking room, frilly bed covers. It's very nice and tidy. Everything's in its place as it should be. Doilies on the dressing tables. Sort of ladies, female beauty products on the dresser. Everything is neat and ordered. It's in showroom state. Big double bed in the middle.
Any evidence to suggest that Ellery's been in here?
You can give us an investigation check while you rummage through.
Critical fail.
Okay, there are men's clothes in the wardrobe. However, they're immaculately kept. They're pressed and neatly stored. But other than that, you can't really tell. The room has obviously been freshly made and set. There's not a lot to tell really. It's as you'd expect to find a room if you were a guest.
Right, okay. I'm going to go back downstairs.
Whilst that's going on, Grungish would actually walk up to Theodek and say, we're on official duty at the moment, yeah?
You are? I'm hired help drinking my whiskey.
Hired help working for the guards. And
hired help working for a man named Colin. I know nothing of the man, neither do I care.
Drinking on duty, not good.
I'm not on duty, sir. I am a smith by trade. I'm here to hit stuff and drink whiskey. It's a nice life.
Hitting stuff I do well. Drinking whiskey, I do well. The after effects of drinking whiskey, I don't do well.
Well, not everyone can take the fire aftermath.
Where's your friend? We should be going.
I have no idea. I was drinking my whiskey.
I should be back downstairs by now.
But my friend here, and I point to Ina, and I'm like, distant cousin, I believe.
The dwarf has turned Jamaican.
I was thinking that. Beer gone.
I'm also too fucking tired to do accents, but I'm going to try. And try as I might.
Good man. That's the spirit.
Right, Ina's here. Let's go find the mortician.
Okay, so...
I'm about to say, where the hell is Bale? I turn around and he's probably standing right in front of me.
Yeah.
So Laura's in the kitchen, busying herself making tea. What do you guys want to do?
Leave?
Is there a back gate to the yard?
There is indeed, yeah. You can go out the back gate if you like.
I'm going to suggest that we leave that way, as it's probably more respectful for Ellery.
More respectful to go through a back door, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yes. I agree.
There's less risk that way.
Take care to be gentle with it.
I
It's seen
also
many
want to ask-
winters.
I want to ask the guardsmen directions too.
Yes, I know a few shortcuts. We can get there quicker.
Ah, okay. So the guard, Gergish, whatever his name is,
Grungish.
Grungish.
Grungish, He can lead you to the mortuary if that's where you wish to go next.
Yep. I've probably had dealings with him many a time before.
Well, you're only an apprentice, so this is...
Yeah, but you know that the new apprentices always get dicked with body watches and...
Run along, go do this for me. Come on now, hurry up.
Yeah.
Go send this letter for me.
Fresh out of boot camp, covered in whatever. So anyway, you arrive at the mortician's, and the mortician is in. He's a grim-looking dwarf, and after a brief explanation as to who you are and what you want, he invites you in to his office.
Hello, I am a fellow dwarf.
Hello, dwarf.
I'm Mr. Mortician, sir.
Hello.
We're here about, I think the man's name's Ellery.
Ah, Ellery, yes, I remember Ellery.
Yes, supposed to be dead.
Yes, he was dead when I saw him, certainly.
Well, he appears not to be now.
Ah, have you seen him?
Yes.
You saw him? Where did you see
We've heard him.
Oh, you heard him? That's not quite the same thing as saw him, is it, young recruit?
Yes, but he was in his home with his wife, who told us it was him, but not him in a way.
I see. So what is your questions?
How can a dead man walk home?
Well, last I saw him, he was dead. We buried him in the family crypt. And I don't really know what else I can tell you. I was paid and my services ended there.
And where is this family crypt?
Well, it's in the graveyard.
I'd expect.
Why, where did you expect it to be, you drunken dwarf?
You're a dwarf like me. You understand that crypts are kept underground in graveyards, are you not?
Aye. I'd expect no less.
I was going to light a cigarette, but the fumes coming from your breath probably tell me that wouldn't be such a wise idea. Have you been drinking, young dwarf?
I am not young, but I have been drinking. It is my pastime.
I think,
Mr. Mortician, what was the cause of death?
Heart attack. Quite simple, really. You say you saw him. Have you spoken to him?
We thought it best not to yet until we got some background information first.
Ah, I see, yes. Well, it was his assistant George that initially found him. He sent message to me and I attended. I performed an examination on the body. It was quite quick to tell that he had had a heart attack. He stayed here with us overnight, and he was transported to the crypt the next day. We had a funeral service for him, and I really don't know what else I can tell you.
What state was he found?
What? Sorry?
Sorry, that. In what state was he found?
Kind of like that.
Yes, yeah, kind of like that. Yes. Well, he was sitting. Have you been to Laura Kingsman's house? Have you seen inside?
We have.
Oh, well, you will have seen the farmhouse table they have there in their kitchen. He was seated at the head of the table, and he was slumped. He'd been eating some soup and having his usual cup of tea at lunchtime, I believe, and he was found slumped in his lunchtime meal.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, go ahead.
Did anyone see him between him arriving at the mortuary and his funeral?
No one came to visit him here. We don't really encourage visitors. We're quite busy. We have all kinds of things going on. There's werewolves out in the east and they tend to rip people to bits, so sometimes we have quite quite gory carcasses in here, and I wouldn't want any members of the public not with the right constitution seeing that kind of thing. So we don't really encourage visits here. And as I said, he was only here overnight until we transported him to the crypt. Any well-wishers or family members were free to visit him at their leisure there.
Were there many people interested in his death?
Well, he was a fairly upstanding member of the community, I suppose. He was a middle-aged man. He didn't particularly look after himself. He didn't particularly exercise. I believed he liked a cigar and a glass of whiskey on a Sunday evening after his roast. It's not unusual for men of his age to die in such circumstances. So in terms of interest, I don't suppose there was any more interest than anybody else. Certainly there were well-wishers and people wishing to pay their respects, but I would say that was as far as it went.
But in my experience, a man doesn't just die from soup.
No, but a man does die living the charmed excesses of life.
So if he was dining, it's kind of weird that his apprentice George found him and not his wife.
This is true, yes, but his wife, as you may have noticed if you've met her, takes rather more care of herself, and I believe she enjoys a afternoon perambulation round the local park.
So am I to assume that you don't think very highly of Laura?
Not at all. She's a fine woman who looks after herself. I have every admiration.
Not as much as Colin.
Not as much as Colin. I believe they went to school together.
That's not what I was on about, but okay. How did you check if he was dead?
Well, I could explain to you, but you would need 6 years in med school to really understand.
Not really. I smash people's heads in. I know how they die.
So you understand a dead person when you see one?
Aye, normally I put them there.
Then we're of the same kin. I know a dead man when I see one.
Aye.
But how, I think what my friend here is saying is, how did you physically check to confirm 110% that he was dead?
What
Well,
that
the
man
lack
said.
of pulse, the lack of pulse in his carotid artery had rather a lot to do with the diagnosis of death.
Okay.
And there was definitely no elements of poison or foul play.
Not that we didn't do a full autopsy. There was no need to do an autopsy. The death wasn't considered mysterious. The death was considered one of natural causes at a reasonable time of one's life, and that was that really.
So if someone did want to end his life, it would be a good time to do so, maybe.
Possibly, but I don't know why anyone would want to kill Ellery, and as you say, he's back alive now, so that doesn't seem to make much sense to me.
Do people in these parts usually come back to life? Have you ever had it before?
It's not something that I've known of, but we've all read the books and had the lessons at school, haven't we?
No, not really. I don't read books.
I'm sure everybody has tales of people that come back to life. And if it really is Ellery, then it sounds as if Laura it really is lucky after all.
I have a question for you.
Another one?
Aye. He's changed his eating habits. He used to like chicken and now he likes fish and he doesn't eat his veggies. Can you explain that? Why his sudden change?
In a nutshell, no.
I thought you had 6 years in medical school.
Well, I did, but I'm not a dietitian, am I? I studied dead people.
Why do you study dead people? Dead people are dead people.
Because that's my job as a mortician. To understand the anatomy of the human body. That's my speciality.
So you have no insight to why sudden food change?
In a nutshell, no.
Do you keep reports and documents here on deaths and illnesses of the like?
We do if we're asked to investigate them, but as I said, I wasn't asked to investigate this. This was a simple death. We issued a death certificate.
Do you have a copy of that?
I do have a copy of that. We always keep a copy for the city records, and Miss Kingsman has the other copy.
Can I see your copy, please?
I would need to establish your relationship to the deceased, I'm afraid. It's a confidentiality thing.
I'm working on behalf of the city guard in this matter, so we have official jurisdiction.
Yes.
You know my rank.
Yes, I've seen your rank, and yes. I can tell that you're a recruit out of training school.
Listen, Colin sent us.
Colin sent you?
Yes.
Well, I need a bit more than Colin sent you, but you seem quite insistent. What I will do is I will look the other way, and if you happen to peek into that brown leather binder over there, you may well find what you're looking for. And as he says that, he'll start rummaging on the other side of the office. And if you want to, you can have a look in his brown binder, leather binder.
Such an easily swayed man.
Yeah, I'll do that then.
I think maybe a chat with the apprentice might be the next step.
Or I've got another idea. I want to check the family crypt. If he was truly buried, how did he leave a family crypt?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Whether there were signs of shovel action, in which case he was removed, or whether the burying was rupturing earth, in which case he broke out himself.
Aye, either would be funny to find.
I'm gonna pocket the death certificate if I can.
Okay.
I know.
If I see that, I don't think I would let you do that.
I am doing it quite sneakily because obviously.
But we're very close together.
Well, let's. I think Grungish needs to roll a perception check, and I think Bale needs to roll a sleight of hand check, and we'll see how that pans out.
Ooh. Are we just saying it or typing in chat or what?
Just so we're all friends. It's a trust game tonight.
Ah, fantastic. 21.
19.
You lying bastard.
I rolled a 19 and I've got a +2.
Cool.
I roll 13 and I've got plus. Hang on, where is it? +4. So 17. 18. No, 17.
17.
Well, you understand the outcome as experienced players.
Yeah, so as the hand goes to pocket it, I clamp a huge green meaty paw around your wrist, squeezing ever so gently, not enough to cause injury, but to let you know the intention and say, you can't be taking that. That's official city business.
Aye, and we're on official city business too.
I'm merely collecting evidence, sir, and the gentleman did conveniently turn his back for us, so I believe his intention was clear as well.
To observe, not to take.
I will, of course, return it once I have studied it and used it in this investigation. But I do believe it will prove useful at this moment in time for us to keep a copy with us just in case.
And I'm not letting go.
Like your glare off. It's needed for our investigation.
And it'll be here if we need it again.
And how do we know that we'll see the same mortician when we come back, who is as kind to let us view this?
Well, he did say that what's her name has got a copy as well, so we can always use that if we need to, but we're not taking this one. I'll squeeze just a little bit more.
You're a bit of a pain in the ass.
I'm gonna say, surely, sir, the fact that you've been put on this investigation means that you do show potential within the city guard, and us cracking this case quicker would allow you to move up the ranks as quickly as you can. It would definitely go in your favour with Colin if you had a hand in the positive outcome.
Yep. But Colin knows I stick to the rules. That's
Well,
what I am.
Clearly, Colin doesn't always stick to the rules, as he was the one supposed to be investigating this. And instead he used some strange trickery to bring us here instead. So he clearly thinks that we know what we're doing, so...
I don't know what gave him that silly idea. I have no idea why I'm here.
I'm going to roll an intimidation roll here to insist you put it back.
Okay, go ahead.
Such green skin and such a brown fucking nose.
18.
What do you want me to use to counter it?
It'll be a flat charisma roll.
Or insight. To see if you're bullshitting.
I think intimidation back, to be honest. You're both sort of squaring up to one another, I would have.
Oh no, I'm one of my personality traits and all that is I keep a level head no matter what, so nothing phases me.
Okay. What do you think would suit best for that then? There isn't one that sort of straight fits it, really, is there? I mean,
no,
something intelligent-wise, maybe, but...
I think it's normally insight.
I just said insight.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, it's a wisdom one. Yeah, go on.
I rolled 18 and I have +5, so 23.
Ah.
Yep.
Sorry.
Insight's one of those basically seeing if you can call him on his bullshit or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can see he's all full of fluff and guff. He's just a young and out of training school, and you're not having none of it at the minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna slowly bring my hand round to put it on top of his and pat it quite patronisingly, and say, we both know, sir, that as an official member of the City Guard, you're not going to help somebody who is on official business. Please release my arm and allow me to conduct my business the way I see fit.
I would raise the attention of the mortician and say, this gentleman wants to take the death certificate. I know you said we can see it. What do you say?
I'm just going to pipe up and ask if anyone's got any popcorn.
As the city mortician, he would say that I've probably answered more questions than I feel comfortable answering. You guys are obviously working on behalf of Colin. I trust once this matter's resolved, you'll put things back in order as they should be. And with that, he'll look at Bale.
And I nod and say, of course, obviously. I'm hoping that once all this is over, I will be put back exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I would treat everything with the same courtesy.
In that case, gentlemen, I think our business is concluded here this afternoon.
Where can I find the family crypt?
In the graveyard.
I think we went through this before, but I understand you've been
Directions,
drinking.
man.
I know the way.
Yes. You're the
Very
closest to it, Dwarf, since you're the nearest to the ground.
You are also a dwarf, so don't give me that lip, laddie.
You whippersnapper. Okay. So you finished with the mortician. Grungish. Grungish. I will get you. Let me write it down very slowly. Grungish. I will try and get it right. I promise.
Damn you, Dougie, for picking such an orcish name.
Oh, do you know what? Some of the names they use in these bloody games are so hard to pronounce. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's just a bugbear of mine. So Grungish presumably knows where the city crypt is, or the city's graveyard is, wherein the crypt of the Kingsmans can be found.
Yeah, it's actually not far from the mortuary, funnily enough.
And as you leave the mortuary, Laura Kingsman, you can see running up the street towards the mortuary in quite a fluster. And she calls out, "Oh, I found you! I found you!"
What? What's going on?
I just wanted to warn you. Ellery heard you guys leaving it. Well, he heard me talking to some men and got quite angry and quite suspicious. Anyway, he's left. He's left in quite a hurry. Out the front door, he went running off. I don't know where he's gone. I just wanted to warn you guys in case he was looking for you.
Do you know which direction he went?
If you could just give me a quick perception check, the four of you.
I will give a definite perception check because I believe that's one of my trained skills.
A 20.
I've got a huge 4.
What?
12.
12. Any advance on 12?
I do, actually. I'm quite enjoying it while I can. I rolled a natural 1 earlier on this dice, and I just rolled a natural 19.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's a 22.
Yeah, I rolled a 2 and I've got a +2, so 4.
Got a 21.
Oh, very close. Both Ina and Theodek can quite clearly see a large red mark down the side of Laura Kingsman's face where earlier there was none. You conclude that she was dealt rather a heavy-handed blow to the face sometime since you last saw her.
Which direction did he go in?
Oh, I don't know. He fled the house and ran up the street. He was coming this way, but I've not seen him.
Right. I take a massive mouthful of whiskey and smash the bottle on the floor. I'm getting quite pissed off.
I'm going to say to her, did he say anything or anything of the like to you before he left?
He just grunted and shouted, "Man's business," and then, well, I don't know.
And then it seems to put his hands on you. So what's that all about?
Well, he gets emotional these days. He never used to, but he has done since he came back.
Do I see the mark now?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious to all of you now that you've joined the dots and can see what's going on yet, reading between the lines.
Lady, do you wish to press charges?
Oh, I just want this whole business sorted out. I just want my Ellery back, or at least some answers.
If he was to put his hands on you again, you won't be getting Ellery back. He'd be put in the ground by me.
I wish Colin was here. He'd know what to do.
Get the slacky to go and get Colin. We'll go see the crypt.
And that's a fair point, actually. I think it's probably a good idea if we did speak to Colin to see exactly what is going on, and if he knows anything more. Because I get the feeling he wasn't quite telling us everything earlier. He seemed very hasty to not be involved in this.
Listen, I want to go see this crypt. I want to see if the man crawled out or got digged out.
Digged up.
Dig.
Did you get digged out?
Digged out.
In that case, then yes, I think we should probably go and visit the crypt first, and then potentially speak to his assistant. And if answers aren't found, then I say we have another conversation with Colin after that.
I say I break his fucking legs. We'll get lots of answers then.
Okay.
Well, if Ellery's running about free, we better be ready for him.
Aye.
I think I'd actually pull my longsword out ready.
Well, you have readied your longsword.
Longsword, shield.
I'm going to start pulling my shield and warhammer. Actually,
Few of the people that are mooching about in the street kind of stop and look at you. It's not a usual thing for members of the public to be drawing weapons in early afternoon, but nonetheless they carry on with their business.
Official city business. Carry on.
They just kind of tut and walk off. You can hear mumbles about the city watch not being up to scratch under their breaths, but nothing you can really hear.
Right, let's go to this crypt then. After me.
Lead the way.
Okay.
And I'd set off at full pace.
Right, so you're marching off towards the crypt, and it's not long before you reach the cemetery boundaries.
Hey, come on, dwarves. You're lagging behind there.
It's now dusk, and there are two city guardsmen guarding the entrance to the crypt, and as you approach, they cross their pikes and tell you that the cemetery is now shut for the night.
Official business.
Official business, says who?
Says me.
Who are you, Greenskin?
I'm Grundish. I'm working for Colin.
You're just a rookie.
I'm still the city guard, you scurvy swine. Now open it, or Colin will be down here. Ask him why you're interrupting his business.
Who do you think we are then, you thicko? Listen, boy, when you've done your time, maybe you can get a cushy gig like this. Always be wary of an old city guardsman.
Mate, I give you two options. You move or I make you move.
I'm not moving anywhere, son. Come back in the morning.
That's not the answer I was looking for. I give you one last time. Move, or me and this green-skinned, brown-nosed bastard will kick your ass.
Right, let me spell this out for you, because you don't seem to be very intelligent, and I can smell that you've been drinking. We're city guard, and we're telling you that this cemetery is shut for the night. It opens at 8 o'clock in the morning. If you want to make something of it, there's about 3,500 of us. We're the biggest gang in town, and it won't be long before you're in shackles in the bottom of the city dungeon. Do you understand?
And they call me short. You look like a wee man Newt.
These two, these two city guard they're both quite large orcs. They're kind of wider than Gurgish, a little bit taller than Gurgish. They've seen many winters of warfare, and just so that you understand the full picture.
That doesn't faze me at all.
Hey, come here, my friend. Come here.
Who are you talking to? One of us?
I wouldn't talk to you, you slimy-faced scumbag. Theodek, over here.
You're going to be our plaything back in the barracks.
I pull Theodek over and go. The crypt and the cemetery. It's a big place. There's another couple of entrances I know of. Let's leave these guys to it.
I was getting ready to smack him in the balls.
I know, but if you did, I'd be torn, and they're still my brothers, if you know what I mean.
Aye.
Let's take one of the other entrances I know of. It's rarely, if ever, guarded.
We'll give it a go.
I'm going to turn to Grungish as we're walking and say, is it customary for the a cemetery to be guarded at night in these parts?
That is a very smart question.
It always has been. We've never questioned it. It's just a duty that comes up, and it tends to be those older, more favoured guys that get it, almost like an easy job for nothing.
It makes you wonder whether they're keeping people out or people in, doesn't it?
Very good question. Very good. But I know other ways in. It's just up here, around the corner, behind that bush.
Well, clearly, if you know the ways in, they're not very good at their job either way, are they?
Oh, I'm very good at mine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose that could be a possibility, however unlikely. I still haven't quite forgiven him for the death certificate thing. Sorry?
I was basically saying that Grungish good at his job and these two being like good at theirs is very questionable.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Grungish is true to his word. The cemetery is surrounded by quite a large wall. It's about 8 foot high and covered in sort of vines and creepers and ivy. But there is a patch of the wall to the south side that has crumbled and deteriorated a little bit, and it doesn't take a massive amount of effort for some fairly physically fit young adventurers to be able to scramble over the wall and find themselves just inside the perimeter of the cemetery.
Told ya.
Hey, good job. Shame I didn't get to hit that fucker in between the legs. That would have been enjoyable.
Well, if they encounter us inside, I think that's probably a foregone conclusion.
Aye. Right, to the crypt.
That's towards the centre of the cemetery.
Let's go.
Yeah, and Grungish is quite correct. Towards the centre of the cemetery is where all the more wealthy members of Ink Longtown have their family crypts, and yeah, in amongst them you'll find the Kingsman crypt without too much trouble.
I'll pull off my ring of keys and go, I've got one in here for this somewhere.
So standing in front of the crypt, you can see large sort of iron covered gates. The outside, it doesn't look particularly big. It's kind of how can I put it? It's kind of about the size of a pillbox, I guess. Quite ornate, with wrought iron gates on the side of it. But sure enough, Grungish has a key to open them, and as you open them, you can see some stairs leading down into the darkness. The stairs are only sort of about maybe 6 foot wide, just about enough width for two of you to stand side by side.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Are there any?
We're currently getting a tour of Dougie's house.
We are.
Are there
First
any? Are there any like wall sconces or anything?
There are, but they are currently unlit.
Never bothered about the lights before. I see perfectly good in the dark.
Are they removable like a torch?
They are, as luck would have it.
I'm going to take my flint and steel out of my sack because I have the engineering thing, so I can light things.
I could actually give you a torch if you asked for one. I have 10 of them.
Ah, I would take one of those then instead of attempting to light one of these.
Yes,
A low DC survival check would ensure your torch burned brightly.
Okay. Does 17 pass? Obviously, well.
17 is enough for your torch to burn brightly, lighting your way ahead.
Okay.
In fact, it burns so bright it burns out quicker than it should do.
Yeah, you do notice in the shadows. However, they don't notice you. You can see the entrance to the cemetery with the two burly guards still standing diligently, doing their duty, facing the other way.
Before we go in, I'm going to turn around and cast alarm on the entrance here.
Okay.
I'm assuming you know what that is, yeah?
I do, yeah.
Cool.
I don't know if you want to say it for the benefit of people at home, but...
Yeah, I set an alarm against unwanted intrusion. I choose a door, a window, or an area within range that is no larger than 20 feet than a 20-foot cube. Until the spell ends, an alarm alerts you whether a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area. When you cast the spell, you can designate creatures that won't set off the alarm. So I'm gonna designate us four. You also choose whether the alarm is mental or audible. I'm going to go for mental, which basically just sets off a little ping inside my head if, as long as I'm still within 1 mile of the warded area.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. I'm gonna mention to everyone that's just in case, you know.
Yeah.
I don't get the magic thing. My magic's being muscly.
So I'll just give you a quick description of the entrance. It's a set of crumbling moss-covered stairs lead down into the darkness. The stairs lead to a path which in turn passes through an ornate stone archway engraved with skeletons and anchors. The words "To Eternity" are carved into the lintel. The barred gate to the crypt lies rusting and off its hinges. As Grungish opened it, it kind of opened itself. It's in a somewhat state of disrepair, despite the recent burial.
Does it look as though it's been forced off its hinges, or is it just aged?
No, it's just aged. Just wear and tear.
This is going to be so sad, but I actually have a thing for the stone around this area. I would like to make a history check to know the origin of the stonework and who was the one that did it.
Okay.
It's sad, but it's a thing I can do being a mountain dwarf.
Okay.
It's just stone, innit?
Well, that's a pretty good roll. That's a 14, and I get a...
Double mod.
Yes, so that's a 6 on top of that, so that's a 20.
Wow, so 20 will tell you that the stone originates from the Grey Peaks, and it is mined by the Iron Fist clan, and the particular stone that you're looking at was fashioned by a dwarf named Jeff Longhammer.
I will relay this to the people that are actually caring about it, because I think it's a good piece of art.
He's actually quite famous in the dwarf world, particularly amongst the Iron Fist clan, as being one of the premier stonemasons of his time.
See, that's my kin. He made this whole thing, you see.
There's not many dwarfs that get to see a piece of Jeff Longhammer's workmanship outside of the Grey Peaks. This Ellery Kingsman is quite clearly a cultured individual.
Hey. It's rare to see this, you know.
It's stone. We heading down or what?
I'm enjoying the craftsman of a fellow kinsman.
I have to agree with our green-skinned friends. The stone is most likely of very little importance. So we should press on.
I may like you yet. Let's go.
So at the bottom of the stairs...
I wouldn't get carried away. Continue the work, sir.
At the bottom of the stairs is a passageway. It's about maybe 50 foot long, perhaps, and just barely visible at the end. You can see a large statue. And on the left and right hand side, about halfway down the passageway, are side rooms. It is quite dark down there. It's fairly dry. The air smells musty, but the floor is relatively it's not particularly dusty or anything. There's obviously been a funeral fairly recently, so people have been up and down this way fairly recently. As I said before, the passageway really is only wide enough for two people to stand side by side. So could I have a marching order as you delve into the crypt?
Grungish would be at the front.
Yeah, I'm going to go behind Grungish with a torch.
Okay.
And I'm going to be near as the front as I can.
So Theodek and Grungish side by side.
Sounds like we're walking in a 2x2 formation then.
Ina, you've been very quiet. How are you faring? We have another
for Craig. Candygram for Craig. Yeah. Oh, it's actually off of Roll20 as well, so I believe he may have had an issue.
Oh, we weren't on Roll20.
Me and Craig were using it as our sheets because
okay.
I don't have a physical copy.
Right. Let me just double check he hasn't left a message that I've not been aware of. I don't tend to look at any of my bits and pieces when I'm playing. Oh, I just got greeted.
Whoa, okay. I didn't think I'd see that again in a hurry.
No, there's no more messages. Shockingly. Oh. Right, okay. I'll place Ina there in case he's able to return. I should have picked that up earlier, really. That makes me rather poor DM. Anyway, life goes on. So
Craig is normally quite quiet. So.
He is. That's why I didn't think about it too much. Oh, is that Douglas?
Internet dying for a second, but going to drop out for the rest of the session if that's okay. Got lots of messages coming through at the moment. Probably shouldn't, if you are recording this, I probably shouldn't just be reading a message out loud. There could be something personal there, you know.
So Dave has just breached all data security for tonight's session. Okay, so Ina has dropped out of the game. We shall carry on with the three of you. Do you know how many times I had to rebalance this bloody game for tonight? I've gone from 3 people to 4 people to 5 people, back to 4 people, and then to 3 now. Anyway, I won't bore you with my problems. So you are in a corridor. Grungish and Theodek standing side by side. Bale is behind the two of them.
He's got the name right.
There's a statue about 50 foot ahead of you in the gloom, and 2 side rooms on either side of the passageway. How would you like to continue on?
I would say to Theoden, when we get close to the doors or the passageways, you check left, I'll check right. Never know what's down here.
Alright, and I grip my warhammer a bit tighter.
Okay, who wants to go first, left or the right?
Allow the regular to go left, that's fine by me.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Are you happy to go first, Theodek?
Yeah, I'm happy to go first, yes.
So, okay, the room on the left is an empty tomb. A pile of bones lies in the corner of this small antechamber. A rotted barrel stands in the southwest corner of the room. Can you give us an investigation or a perception check?
I'll gladly give a perception, as my investigation is very, very bad.
I got crit 20.
Ooh.
Me too.
Lovely. So, a perception check, successful perception check, which you have done.
23 for a total.
Wowzer.
25 for me if you need it.
So that reveals that the bones have gnaw marks all over them, as if an animal or something unnatural has been gnawing at them. Yeah. So the shroud in which the corpse was wrapped in has disintegrated, and the coffin was removed by the stonemasons a while back. But other than that, there's nothing untoward. So it's a small chamber with some barrels. And there's some bones on the floor that have teeth marks in them.
I will tell the group and obviously look up and see said ranger above me. I am only 5 foot, so he's probably a little bit taller than me.
Yeah.
I think I put myself down as 6 foot, I think. I can't remember.
I'm a big dwarf, by the way.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention this.
A lot of people have said that about you. You almost pass for human in a dark light.
Yes, I am a seventh son of a 7th son, so I am slightly different in dwarfish stature.
I'm 5'11", not 6, so 2 inches shorter than that.
Okay.
We're close in height, so I turn around to look up to talk to you and then greet you face to face. No awkward stares, I don't do that shit. I just say about the gnawed on bones and shit.
That's right, I'm 6'8".
Wow.
Towering green bag of shit.
So you're going to have to duck as you look into the room on the right. The room on the right is a chamber. Looks like it's still used as a workshop by the stonemasons maintaining the crypt. Stonemasons' tools lie on the rudimentary desk, and a broken stone memorial to a mother and child leans against the north wall, along with a couple of blank tombstones. A number of wooden urns are scattered around the room, and a barrel with a spigot tap sits in the corner.
Theoden, there's probably some more ale or something in here. Replace your broken whiskey.
That was broken on purpose.
Well, you may be able to replace it with something else.
I can wait. Combat is much better than drink at the moment.
Obviously I'll have a good look around the room, same as these guys.
Yeah. So there's nothing massively untoward, but you can give us an investigation check, and I'll give you the full lowdown.
I rolled a perception if that was a white 90.
Perception's alright. Yeah. Yeah, so it is just a storeroom for the stonemasons. They do their chores down there, and there's various tools and whatnot. On closer inspection, the barrel with the spigot tap holds water, and it's purely so the stonemasons have got a bit of refreshment as they go about their business.
I think I'll take a cup of water.
Obviously, they're not dwarvish stonemasons.
No, you can tell by the quality of their marks that they don't have the same finesse as your kin.
Well, I guess we're moving down to that statue.
Okay. So the statue looms ahead of you in the darkness, and as you draw closer, you can see a statue of a blood warrior with red gems for eyes stands towering over the intersection. So you've come to a kind of a T-junction now, and the statue is in a little alcove just in front of you, and the passageway goes left or right either side. So the statue stands towering over the intersection. The fearsome warrior wears a gold necklace with a green gem encased in a grasping gold claw.
I'll look left and right.
Yeah, so to the left you can see the passageway extends a little way and then turns itself left again, and there's a door in front of you. At the junction where it turns left, there's a door there as if it goes into another room, and to the right it opens up into what looks like a bigger room a little way down the corridor.
I say we check the open area first and go right.
Alright.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so you want to go right. Okay, so this is the Tomb of the Estranged. This chamber contains a most depressing scene. A number of ransacked coffins are lying scattered across the floor, their contents visible, forming a grotesque scene. A grotesque creature sits on the floor, gnawing on the bones of some unfortunate soul, and looks up as you enter. Please roll for initiative.
Whoa! What a nice walk.
And a plane goes by.
Plane?
Not so good on the initiative roll. Let me check my initiative.
What have we got?
11 for me.
11.
19 for me.
A massive 8.
Okay. So, Mr. Knight is up first.
Gungrish, or whatever your name is.
Grunkish, yes.
Grungish. So yeah, standing afore you is a humanoid figure. I don't really know how to describe it, to be fair. It's kind of a ghastly looking grey figure, bald head, long pink tongue, large claw-like hands, wearing not a lot of clothing, perhaps just a tatty linen shroud around parts of him that you don't want to see.
Sounds like a male version of my ex.
So I've seen it gnawing on bones and stuff.
Yeah, it's sitting in the
filing
room, chomping
Yeah.
away on the remains of what was in the coffins.
So instantly, I'm not going to be happy with that. So I'm going to rage.
Rah.
And as I rage, I am also going to frenzy because I chose the
The other
half
one,
of the
Frenzy Barbarian.
berserker.
All right.
So I'm going to charge in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also, because I can, I'm going to reckless attack.
That's a level 3 thing, I believe.
It's level
It is.
2.
Oh, yeah, so it is.
So, So, firstly, I get advantage on attack rolls. That's not great. 10 does a 15 hit.
A 15 hits.
Fantastic. So it's a D8 plus 3 plus 2 from rage. Oh, very nice. 12 damage.
Oh, lovely. Ouch. Okay.
And is there anything else? No, I think for that turn, that is it.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. Bale is up next.
Okay, I'm not going to attack this turn. I'm going to go ahead and cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Oh.
Do you want me to explain that one as well?
Yeah, it gives you advantage on hits, doesn't it? I think.
No.
No, it's you choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry.
Yeah.
D6.
Yeah, until the spell ends, you
it.
deal an extra 1d6 damage to that target whenever you hit it with a weapon attack.
Okay.
It also gives you advantage on wisdom and on perception and survival checks when you're looking for it.
Okay.
Basically. So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And that
Cool.
is cast.
So the ghast will turn around and move towards Grungish.
Okay, he actually has advantage on them rolls.
Which
He
one?
does. His attack rolls have advantage against Grungish for being reckless.
Yes. So he's going to move towards Grungish and he's going to attempt to bite him. No, he's going to attempt to use his claws. Melee weapon attack. 11 to hit.
That does not hit.
So he lashes out. But
Rip
misses.
earphone users.
But misses. Okay. And that's the ghast's turn. Okay, Theodek.
I will fly into a rage, as a barbarian does. Rush in to support the other barbarian of the party. And unleash hell with my warhammer. Or attempt to, at least.
Okay.
Does a 10 hit?
A 10 does not hit.
Then I missed quite horribly.
Ah. So you swing to no avail and the creature steps to one side as your axe smashes into the floor. Grungish is back up, but first needs to make a constitution saving throw.
Oh, do I now? Okay. Funnily enough, being a half-orc and a barbarian, I'm good at cons. 18.
18 is a success. You're free to continue your turn.
Fantastic. So, I'm not reckless attacking this turn because I think that's only the first attack on a turn. So I'm going to just swing at the bugger. Oh, 14.
14 does hit.
Oh, fantastic. So that's 2d8. I'm still frenzying, which is good. And a roll of 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 9 points of damage.
Ooh, lovely.
And then my frenzy path kicks in. So as my bonus action, I get to make another single attack.
Cut his head off.
That is a nat 20.
Oh, lovely. That's most definitely a hit.
So that will be, because I am a half orc,
Plus your crit.
3d8. 5, 6, 13 plus 3 is 16 plus 2, 18 points of damage.
And that finishes it. Ah. How do you want to do it?
So I do the first bite, the first attack, and I almost imagine it just sort of slices his arm. And in pure anger that he took my hit, I'm literally going to pull it out and just swing that sort of 3 or 4 inches higher, and just straight through his neck.
He's gone. Okay. Right. If any of you are interested to have a look at him, I might be able to tell you what the creature was. So if you want to give us a survival check.
I'm on a rage inspection. I don't know if that is really advantage.
Bale can have advantage because he had Hunter's Mark on it already.
Yeah.
Is it survival, did you say?
Yeah.
I rolled a nat 2, so that gives me a 4.
I got 16.
I got a 14.
14, yeah. So it's quite easy for a ranger to spot that this is in fact the corpse of a ghast. And it's
Ghast?
It's a ghast, and it's been down there gnawing on the bones in this crypt.
So it's not just ghastly, it's actually a ghast.
A ghast, G-H-A-S-T.
They're tougher than ghouls.
Yeah, they're annoying.
He died quite quickly.
When you crit them, it kind of kills them quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. I would look at Theodek and go, and that's it.
Shove that brown nose of yours up your own fucking ass.
So looking around this room, you can see there's no other entrances of the room other than the one you came into. It's just a large room with these 3 desecrated coffins and now a corpse of a ghast in the centre.
I would like to rage loot his pockets. If a ghast has pockets.
Let me just show you the picture. Doesn't really have any pockets. He's undead and has no need for such things.
At home, he is wearing a loincloth, and said dwarf doesn't care, so he's going to check under the loincloth.
Okay, so rigor mortis has just set in because he's recently been killed. You find nothing other than his stiff joints.
Dave, what's your character's name, sorry?
Bale.
Grungish would say, hey, that torch of yours, burn it.
I think it's burning already. You great gangling fuck knuckle.
No, burn the gas, you fool.
Ah, right. I'm gonna prod the gas with the torch.
Yeah, vroomf, up it goes. Doesn't take much to light the ghast. He's burning away.
Theodek will inhale deeply, disgusted at the smell, and then look for more shit to do.
Hang on.
Does smell pretty
Sorry, I
bad.
got someone knocking.
Someone's a knocking.
Someone's knocking at the door.
Who's that?
Oh, look at that. They bring you a drink.
What's that about?
I'm being looked after, it's great.
Are you in a shed in a garden?
Yeah, we've got home offices outside. Me and my wife got home offices outside.
My badge is empty.
Oh, well, I've only got Fanta, so.
Oh, that's alright then.
I'm out of coffee, so I'm...
It's like my 3rd can, but you know.
Damn. Carlsberg export.
Yeah, it's not just a shed. It's a very expensive shed.
It's not just a shed. If Carlsberg made sheds, that's the kind of shed.
That'd be the best sheds in the world.
That's it. Right.
My shed had flight seats in it with new hostesses. Lovely.
Wow. I need a
At
shed.
least it ain't going neat, 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 neat tonight.
Oh yeah. I need a shed.
I've got 3 of them, but all of them are full of tools.
Oh.
Okay, so there's nothing much more in this room.
No.
Brandish would say, we did good here, but we still don't know anymore. Let's go look at that other door, shall we?
Alright.
So head back down the passageway, past the statue with the large gem hanging around its neck, towards the area at the other end of the corridor.
I would sort of stop at the statue and wait for the other two to walk past before we carried on, ensuring that the contents of the statue remain untouched.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we're all past.
Okay. So the statue with the green gem has remained untouched, which is good. And you are heading towards the next area. Bear with me. So the corridor widens, and 3 closed wooden doors stand before you, all in a row. From left to right, brass plaques on the doors read Mortimer Kingsman, Gwendolyn Kingsman, and Ellery Kingsman. The 3 doors are stout wooden. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't read that bit. Yeah, so there's okay, yeah.
Now,
So
wooden doors, ladies and gentlemen.
Worst GM ever!
where?
They're not only just doors, they are stout wooden doors.
Yes, they are stout wooden doors. Anyway, I could read that, to be fair. It doesn't really say anything. So the 3 wooden doors are stout wooden doors, and the door to Mortimer's tomb is wedged shut with a thick layer of cobwebs covering it. There you go.
Gentlemen, we are here to investigate Ellery. I think we know the room we need to go into.
Yes, still, but there could be some pinpointers as to what's happened on the other doors. You know, just in case something like this has ever happened.
I'm not disputing that at all, my dear friend. But let's concentrate the focus on investigation on the one we are concerned with.
Well, lead the way then, sir.
Which is the crypt next to Ellery's?
That's the lady, isn't it?
Yeah, you got Gwendolyn. You got
What does Gwendolyn's door look like? Is it covered in cobwebs like the first one?
Not so much. They're all kind of cobwebby, to be fair, but Mortimer, Gwendolyn, and Ellery. So Gwendolyn's is Mortimer's is covered in cobwebs. Gwendolyn, bear with me, is covered in cobwebs as well. Yeah.
So it looks untouched as the eye can see.
Yes. Yeah.
So there would not be a cross-contamination from this room. So I would open door number 3, please.
So whose door do you want to look in? Mortimer,
Ellery's.
Gwendolyn, or Ellery? Yeah.
Ellery.
Yeah. Okay. So so you walk into Ellery's room, and you can see a rather posh stone sarcophagus. And the room is fresh, but you can see that it's been disturbed, and the lid is ajar on the sarcophagus. There is a freshly dumped corpse, face down.
I'd go and investigate, try and turn the body over to see if the guard that is with us notices anything about the man in the actual sarcophagus, see if he recognises them.
So, yeah, as you flip the body over, you can see the face matches that of the man that you saw a couple of hours ago in the photos in the hallway at Laura Ellery's house.
This is, in fact, Ellery's body, then.
Yeah.
As far as the eye can see, anyway.
Yes.
God damn it, we're dealing with a doppelganger.
He has been stripped of all his clothing, and he's only wearing his underwear currently.
Well, I suppose at least they let him with some dignity. But yes, I do think it's definitely some sort of copycat, whether it's a doppelganger, shapeshifter, something of the like. You know, you do get all sorts.
As much as I'd hate to touch it, I'm going to attempt to put Ellery back into his crypt.
Oh, we're going to lid the sarcophagus again. We are currently in the crypt.
Yeah, you're in the crypt. His sarcophagus is there, the lid's off of it, and his naked body is on the floor, all bar his pants.
Yeah, I want to put him back into his sarcophagus.
Yeah, let's set him back like he should be. And then me and Grungish will lift the lid back on and secure it as best we can.
Okay. So without too much effort, you lift him back in his sarcophagus. But if you can all give me a perception check quickly.
Of course.
19.
11. No, yeah, 11.
Mine is a solid 16.
Okay, so Grungish, you do hear a noise outside. Whether it's just the air changing, it's a noise that you can't really put your finger on or distinguish, but your senses tell you something has changed outside the room.
What are we doing at the point that I hear that?
The three of you are manhandling his body back into its sarcophagus.
I'd immediately let go, draw my sword, and turn to the door. And if they do the same and the body hits the floor, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've trusted my senses for a long time, and with my what is it? Where is it? What is the ability? I'm not saying it's there. So with my danger sense, I'm attuned to things that aren't quite what they appear to be, or things that I'm not aware of. So I would immediately turn.
Okay, and you guys?
I'm still putting Ellery back.
I'm probably going to be wondering what Grungish is doing, so I'll turn around with him.
Okay.
So you're manhandling him alone.
Yep, that's fine with me. I'm not a stupid short dwarf all by myself. I am quite a large dwarf for my size. And I am lawful good as a barbarian, which is quite weird, but I do it in the good way.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm putting the body back as best as I can on my own, while them two are faff-assing about at the door.
Okay. So you stuff the body back into the sarcophagus. Nothing in the room changes as you're doing it, but you notice the other two are on edge.
Right, you two guard the door then, and I'll get the bloody sarcophagus on my own.
Okay. I don't suppose anything's tripped my alarm, has it? By the front door?
No.
Yeah, I'm just going to wait and see what's happening.
Okay.
I'm there, sword out, shield out, and I haven't physically moved since I turned.
Yeah.
I'm just staring at that door.
Okay, and it's silence. It's as silent as a tomb, as the saying goes. Nothing is moving.
That would be fitting in the situation that we're in.
Yes, it's actually spookily silent, I'll be honest with you.
I'm still lifting the lid to the sarcophagus on my own.
You're doing quite well. You're persevering, and you're slowly getting the job done. his body's in there, and with your dwarvish strength, you are succeeding. And
stubbornness.
Yeah. And still nothing happens.
I'm going to take a step closer to the door, see if I can hear anything.
Mm-hmm.
I grip the hilt of my longsword tighter.
And nothing changes.
I lit the sarcophagus on my own.
With the strength of the bear!
Stone liquor.
That's it. The only noise you can hear is the grunting and complaining from Theodek as he continues in his labour.
Yeah, on my own, guys. Like, seriously, leaving the smallest man to do this job.
Ollie, did you just quote Bravestar?
No. Oh, yeah, Brave Star. Strength of the bear! Eyes of the hawk! Speed of the
Speed of
puma!
Puma.
Yeah,
Ears of
Puma
the
as we
wolf.
say, or Puma as they say over there. Yeah.
Ears of the wolf.
Ears of
The funny thing is,
only in 3 senses.
that saying is quite fitting, as I actually am a totem barbarian of the bear.
There you go.
So, can you remember the name of the horse?
Was it 50-50 or 30-30?
2020.
20-20, something like that.
And the name of the gun?
No.
Sarah
Bertha?
Jane.
Sarah Jane, there you go. Yeah. Brave Star.
For those that are listening or watching, this is ancient history,
Yes.
far beyond my years.
We are pushing the boundaries of longevity, Dougie and I.
I used to love that show.
I do believe some of the, not being rude, but some of the people here may be close to my character's age.
I think Ollie's got a few years on me though.
I've got a few months on you, that's all.
Is it a few months?
Mm-hmm. I think I've weathered better, if I'm honest.
I don't know. You seem to have got a bit of a shadow going on top of your head now.
Oh, that's all right. That's just a few. That's a solar panel for a sex machine.
Yeah. There's not much sun lately though.
This is true.
So you the big age this year as well then?
Oh, indeed. Indeed.
God, two of us in the same. So what, you October?
I am November.
So there's barely a month between us.
Yes.
Back to the game, maybe?
Sorry, the youngsters have a short attention span. Right, so you are in a room. Theodek is struggling to get his body back in. He's almost finished, and you two are anxiously staring at the door, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yet nothing changes.
I think I jump when the lid to the sarcophagus actually hits, because obviously it's been silent other than his grunting. All of a sudden there'll be this big I think I'd actually
swearing in Dwarvish.
jump, and I understand Dwarvish, so I'd probably
Fucking bastard, didn't even fucking help me.
snigger along.
I like that Dwarvish, that's good. Right.
I was doing a common translation for those listening in.
So once you're finished, I'll sort of look at Theodek very quickly and go, good work there, but there's something outside. Don't know what it is, but there's something there.
You call it a small pet? I did this on my own.
And a very good job you done. Well done. And as he comes close, I'd pat his head.
Ooh.
You're testing my fucking patience. What's got you so spooked anyway?
There was a shift in the air outside. I don't know what it was, but there's something else out there.
Oh, big man was scared by ghosts, was he?
Go out there, find out.
I fucking will. And with that, I pull up my shield and warhammer and walk out the door.
Brave man.
Okay. Right. So you just going to go storming out, or are you going to open the door and have a look, or what do you want to do?
I'm going storming out. I am now pissed off because I've been patted on the head.
Okay. Can you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
I get bonus. I believe I get advantage.
Danger sense. You have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects you can't see, such as traps and spells.
Well, I'm glad I had advantage. Because one was a natural 2 and the other one was a natural 18. So, my 18 turns into a 20.
Okay. So you go storming out the door and almost invisibly get pushed back inside the door. But you can't see why.
Wait, I get fucking patted on the head and I can't leave this damn room.
I thought you were going out and not scared, eh? And I
I'm
pat
not
his head
scared.
again.
The door's swinging open, so all three of you, I think, can make a perception check for me, please.
Definitely.
11.
I've got to find my sheet again because it's on a different tab. Perception. A big 7.
I rolled an unnatural 20.
Okay. So.
Can't be so good on the pattern of the head then, eh?
Grungish will notice a slight. How can we put this?
Shift in the air.
A slight shift in the light. The other side of the doorway. Can't quite put your finger on it. The other two of you know nothing at all. Dougie and I will roll initiative.
As soon as I see that, I would actually throw one of my javelins at the target. Even before combat begins, as soon as I see that, I'm like, because I'm wired.
Roll for initiative quickly for us.
Yeah, no worries. Ooh, that was a nat 18 again.
Okay.
So that puts me on. I think I'm only plus 2. 20 initiative.
Okay, and Lee and Dave, if you can just roll to see who goes out of you two.
Yep.
Of course. And by the gods, it's a 5.
Thank you for turning up.
5 and 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Dougie, you're up first.
Yep.
So all you can see, well, you can't really see anything other than the light doesn't look quite right in the doorway.
And that's what I said. Literally, as soon as I see that with my... with how heightened I am at the moment and I know something's going on, I would literally just launch one of my javelins at the target or at the light.
Okay.
So I'll drop a javelin as I'm about to throw it.
Well, it's your choice. You can drop it or you can throw it.
AC 24.
Is a hit. You'd be surprised to hear.
Fantastic. And that is for 9.
9, okay.
9.
9.
Okay.
With that, I would move. So, I mean, I've visioned the doorway there. I'd want to be with my back to the wall, with my sword ready to swing at anyone that came through the door.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not easily a target. I'm not visible, but I'm there.
Okay. Right. So I shall move into the room, and anyone who's standing near the doorway. So let's have a little quick. So
That would be me.
You've moved back to one side, haven't you? Or are you still there?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I've moved to the doorway.
Okay.
So the aim is that anyone that comes through, if it doesn't know I'm there and then tries to go into the room, I'd opportunity attack it.
Okay.
Theodek was going towards the door. I don't know if he would make it through or not.
Yeah. So I think the three of you are going to need to make a dexterity saving throw, given the size of this thing and your relative positions.
And it's nothing we can see, so both me and Theodek would still have an advantage on that.
18 for me.
15 for Theodek.
16 for Grungish.
Okay. So you all manage to somehow dodge out of the way of it. You're pushed back into the room. There's only kind of a narrow gap past it. You can kind of see what it is now. This is a large kind of, for want of a better word, looks like an ice cube. Although it's not made of ice, it's kind of
Gelatinous cube.
Made of a gelatinous type substance. It's taking up most of the room that you're in. There is a thin sort of way round it, but not much of a room.
I try and get through a door, and something is fucking pushing me.
And as it comes in and you all jump out of the way, it is going to lunge for Bale.
Oh, lovely.
And it rolls 14 to hit.
It hits then.
Okay. 3. And does 5, 6, 9 acid damage.
Ow!
9. Lovely.
So you're all in the room with this giant cube. The door's still open, and there is a little bit of a way past it. And Bale is up next. It would probably get an attack of opportunity because of the tight space of the room if you were to try and get past it, unless you took a dash action or something.
Sorry, very quickly, Ollie. Is there a javelin floating midair?
There is a javelin inside it, yeah, quite nicely. You can try and pull it out.
Trust the big green thing to be inside the big green thing.
This is me as a player talking now.
Yep.
I don't have much experience with gelatinous cubes, so I don't really know what they are.
No, me either.
Now, me as a player trying to get in the side of my ranger, into the head of my ranger,
Yep.
would, as a ranger, know much about a gelatinous cube?
It's unlikely because they live underground. Unless you.
Well, he has spent a lot of the time foraging in the Underdarks. Whether or not he's gone very deep or not, he's probably just skimmed the surface.
What is it that he's wondering whether he knows?
Whether if I shoot an arrow at it, it's going to do any damage.
Oh, it will damage it.
Excellent. I will shoot an arrow at him then. Ooh.
Disadvantage because you're now in melee range.
Well, I haven't actually drawn a weapon yet, so
That's also true.
I could decide whether I want to draw both my short swords and go for a hack and slash and maybe dice him up a bit. Yeah, let's do that. I'll draw my short swords. I can wield both of them, can't I?
Can you draw both?
It takes 3 actions to pull one at a time, unless you have dual wielder.
No, I don't. I will draw one then, and roll for one of them to attack. Thank you. I forgot about that. And it is 17.
17 hits.
And it's a d6 plus 2, 6.
6 damage.
A black pudding.
I played a ranger recently. That's the only reason why I know.
Aha.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I know anyway.
Theodek.
I will go into a blind rage because I'm trying to push past it and it keeps on pushing me. I've had enough of it. So this is my second rage that I'm burning. And I'm going to recklessly pummel it with a hammer. Or attempt to, anyway.
Give yourself advantage, my friend.
I will indeed. And I'm glad I did. Because one of them was a natural 1, the other one is a 15 plus 4, so 19 to hit.
Lovely, yeah, does the job.
1d8 plus 2 plus 2. And the d8 is that shape. I don't get to use these very often.
And we can't see it because you ain't got your camera on.
Because I don't have a camera for this PC yet. 5, 7 plus 2 is 9 damage. All the 9s today. Another 9.
9.
Lovely.
9.
So you pound this large jelly-like cube and it wobbles as you hit it. Doesn't make any expression because it hasn't got a face, but
I cover it in custard and cream and call it a
nonetheless,
trifle.
you sense that your attack did something, and that puts Grungish back in contention.
So if they've charged into the front of it, can I move behind it and flank it for advantage?
There's not really room to do that. It's quite a small room. It's a large creature, so it takes up quite a few spaces.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to swing at it then with my longsword. I'm not going to rage just yet, which is fantastic because I rolled an 18, so that's 23 to hit.
Hits, yep.
Sweet. So d8 plus 3 gives a 10 slashing damage.
Okay. Yep, so much like Theodek's attack, your sword cuts through it like a hot knife through butter. But as soon as it's passed through, the gash, for want of a better word, heals itself.
You said gash.
And on it carries.
I got you both. And Grungish is done.
The awkward bit about it was I was actually filling out my sheet for a rage thing so I could count my rage. And then all I heard was, he said gash.
You silly boys. Alright, so the cube moves towards Grungish. Make a dexterity saving throw.
A dex saving throw.
Yeah, dex saving throw.
14 plus 2 is 16.
Okay, so you dodge out of it and you're pushed against the side of the wall of the room that you're in. And then it's going to make its melee attack against Dave again, I'm afraid.
Wow.
I'm rolling a D3. It's the only real way I can see of doing it without it's the only way my conscience will allow. So unfortunately, yeah, Bale is going to get attacked again, and that will be 16 to hit.
That hits.
14 hit last time, so 16 definitely does.
Yeah. 9 acid damage.
9.
Wow, that's okay. I'm not dead yet.
Okay.
There's more 9s to be had.
It's weird because 9's the average. Oh no, 10's the average. It says on it. But yeah, cool. So Bale, your turn.
Oh yeah, me.
Yep.
I'm Bale. Okay.
That's that Bale. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Looking significantly disfigured after all this acid damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Good shout.
Very smart move, yes.
It's 1d8 plus 3. 8.
Oh, I can't wait until I level up because I'm taking a feat out of Xanathars.
Haha.
8.
Feet at 4th level?
Barbarian, yeah?
Yeah, that's unusual.
It's Dwarven Fortitude, so if I take a dodge action, I can
Yeah.
Okay, Theodek.
continuously rage, smash it in the face, if it had a face.
You can pick one of the undulations.
Well, I didn't need it because I got a 16 and a 17, so
Yeah.
21 to hit,
Hits.
and the D8.
Plus 4.
That would be 10 damage
Okay.
total. and I will try and get closer to Bale, so I am more of a target. Trying to put myself between Bale and the cube, basically, but I can't push Bale out of the way.
I'll let my D3 know. Thank you.
Is that a D6?
No, it's a D3. Oh no, D4. Sorry, yeah, D6.
So I get 2 of the sides now. I know 2 of those D4, 2 of those sides on the D4.
Okay. Grungish.
Is this cube appearing to be any more sluggish than it was before?
I think the official description is bloodied, and that's as much as I'll tell you.
Okay. So it appears to be slightly slower than it was before because we can't see a physical wound. Okay. AC 22 to hit.
Yeah, hits it.
Oh, very nice. And that is for 10. Roll a 7 again. 10 slashing.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to roar at it. Come at me!
Blub, 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 blub. That was his answer.
Under the sea. Under the sea.
And this time it will move towards. Not that there's much room in there, but it moves towards Theodek. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Dex save, yes. Let me just check. That would be a full 11.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh dear. So, on a failed save, the cube enters your space, and you take. Let me roll it.
You've been swallowed by a cube.
Yeah, no. You take 12 acid damage and are engulfed.
I take half of that, I believe.
No, you don't. Piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning damage only.
I am of the bear. So I
In
believe...
which case, the only one you don't reduce is force and psychic.
I believe so. So I would take half of that, yes.
So that's 6. Now you'll have to help me out with this because I failed to look it up before the game, which was negligent of me, but there we are. Right, so you take 6 acid damage and are engulfed. The engulfed creature can't breathe, is restrained, and takes some more damage at the start of its turn. It's not the start of your turn just yet. But you can't breathe, so I'm not entirely sure how long you can't breathe for before negative effects start taking hold. I did try to quickly look it up, but I couldn't see it in time. I'm assuming you become unconscious at some point rather quickly.
Yeah, it's a con thing, I believe.
Yeah. Anyway, while you're working that out, it's going to take a hit, or it's going to attempt to attack Grungish. Ooh, 21 to hit. Okay, so Theodek's, I see, just popped out. Theodek's become engulfed and now can't breathe. It's taken a hit against you and has got 21 to hit.
That is a hit.
Yeah, okay. And so you take 8 acid damage.
Ow.
Do you know what breathing is off the top of your head?
I'm looking up.
You hold your breath for your strength modifier in minutes.
It's con modifier in minutes.
Is it con modifier in minutes? There we go.
And then you become unconscious, do you?
Then
you start taking damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my con is pretty good at 17, so...
You
Plus
can hold
3.
your breath for 17 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Gonna say. Okay, cool. Right, so that makes it back round to Bale's turn.
Okay, I am going to... I've used all my spell slots, so I can't mark this guy, but that's fine. Is it still close to me?
Oh, it's close to all of you, yeah. You're all within melee range of it. It's a small room.
In that case, then, I'm going to use my free action to draw my second short sword.
quite disturbingly, you can see Theodek writhing around inside it quite clearly.
Okay. And I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna just like try and slice him out of it.
Okay.
I just realised. Sorry to stop the game. I should have had advantage on that because I think I should have had advantage on it.
On what?
The dex save.
No, that's only on traps and spell effects you can't see. So if we can see the cube, then
It's a
unfortunately...
rage thing.
Pardon?
A rage thing, I think it is.
No, I'm the same thing as you. I'm the barbarian.
I do apologise. Carry on, sorry.
That's not a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and just go ahead and try and slice the shit out of this thing.
Go for it.
Filet à mignon.
Yes. So I'm rolling for both of them, yeah?
Yeah.
Which is going to be... with the first one, it is quite nice. It's a 22.
That's a hit.
And the second one is a 16.
And that's a hit.
Don't forget you don't add
You
your
don't get the modifier for the second one, do you?
damage modifier on your second one.
12 then.
12 total.
No, you get it for your attack,
sorry,
but not
yeah.
the damage.
Yeah. Okay, so for the first one is going to be 8 damage.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is just 3.
Okay, so 11 altogether.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Alright, Theodek.
Yeah.
So you can attempt to escape by making a strength check.
I will do so. And the strength check is, as I'm looking at my sheet, a 18.
And you successfully managed to manhandle yourself out of the cube. I'm going to let you have the choice as to whether you want to sort of work your way out into the room where the other two are, because this cube thing is kind of blocking the door, or next to the door, so you can either come out into the room with them two or into the passageway.
I will stay in the room as this thing has thoroughly riled me up. I want to kill it.
Okay, so you're covered in slimy goo as well, and gasping for breath, because that was quite a bit of a shock going in there.
Yes.
Okay, Grungish.
Okay, having seen what it's done, I too am going to rage now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to swing at this guy. Oh, very nice. Nat 8, AC 23, which I know hits.
Yeah.
And a D8 plus 3 plus 2. Oh, fantastic. 13 slashing damage.
Lovely. Okay. Right. Okay, cubes go. And he will move towards Theodek again, I'm afraid.
Yep.
Make another deck save.
Natural 20.
Lovely. So quite easily you dodge out of the way now. You're not going to get bitten twice. And it's going to make an attack against Theodek. These dice don't like you.
Yes.
Apologies. 14 to hit.
That would miss.
There you go. It lunges out with a lump of ooze, for want of a better word, and misses. Okay, Bale's turn.
I'm going to go ahead and try and slash at it again.
Mm-hmm.
I do not.
Okay. What did you get?
I rolled a 4 and a 5.
Oh, have you got any modifiers to that?
Yeah, it's plus 4 to each.
Because this cube's AC is 6.
Oh, well, okay then. I hit.
There you go.
It changes everything.
It's quite easy to hit. It's a big lump of jelly.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's
Right,
got
first one is...
It's just got shitloads of hit points.
That's it. You got it.
It is literally a sack of hit points.
It is.
Okay, so 5, 6, so 7 for the first one, and 1 for the second.
Okay. Well, I'll let you describe how you defeat this this glob of ooze and what happens to it.
I'm gonna bring one sword straight down and slice what little bit left is attached to each other. And it's gonna go.
So you kind of slice it in half like a lump of jelly.
Yeah. Like you're cutting open a silicon mold.
And these two halves just sort of flop lifelessly on the floor and don't animate any further.
Excellent.
So you defeated your first gelatinous cube.
Yes.
Good work. Okay. So
And I'll pick up my javelin.
yeah. Yes, you got your javelin in the middle. There's a few other bits and pieces, judging by the picture, bits of crud from over the years and bones and whatnot.
I will cough up the gelatin that nearly seeped itself into my lungs.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to be the same again. That's quite an experience being engulfed.
I will do it again in a heartbeat.
It's like drowning in the
Custard.
air. Very weird. Cool. So you're back in this room with this sarcophagus, and then the corridor's outside. There's two other rooms next to you. And there you are.
I'll turn to Theodek and say, I told you there was something there.
It doesn't taste nice.
I wasn't silly enough to jump into it.
I wanted to get to know it on a personal level. Except it got a bit too personal.
And as I walk out the room, I'll pat him on the head again.
Oh.
I will kick him as hard as dwarvenly possible.
So, do you want to look in any of the other rooms, or do you want to carry on along the corridor?
I think I want to carry on.
Yes, let's carry on.
Mm-hmm.
So, you round a corner, and you can see in front of you kind of a large room. As you approach it, I'd like you each to make a dexterity saving throw.
Danger sense, danger sense.
Oh, fuck yes. 18.
Dex save, I believe I have a +2.
20.
I'm not reaching that high with a 17, but...
Okay, well, all three of you managed to walk on a concealed pit trap. It springs, but with ninja-like reflexes, the three of you managed to grab the ledge like that, ting ting ting, all in a row, and pull yourselves out of it without suffering any damage, other than a minor flutter of the heart as you dodge it.
If
Congratulations.
only I could push the big green sucker hit points next to me into the pit.
Okay, so that's true. Yeah. So in front of you is a door. You can see a large door just on the corner there. So as you turn the corner of the corridor, a huge door looms up in front of you, and the door is much more grand than any you have seen elsewhere in the crypt. This is definitely the tomb of an important member of the Kingsman family. Carved into the door in ornate gold inlaid letters is the name Peregrine Wingham Kingsman.
Is this door covered in cobwebs?
I'm gonna say no. It doesn't say specifically, but no, it looks like it's been recently disturbed.
Then if there's no cobwebs, someone's been in there, then we should go into.
Okay. So the door's not locked, and a sturdy push you deduce would be able to open it.
I give it that sturdy push.
Okay. So you enter Peregrine Kingsman's tomb. So entering through the door, you find yourself in a highly ornate tomb. An exquisitely carved frieze of skeletal figures, snakes, around the wall at head height. A bright red rug covers the westernmost portion of the floor. On top of the rug stands an ornate sarcophagus, the former occupant of which appears to have been discarded roughly on the floor beside it. Sitting on the sarcophagus is what looks like a ghoul, wearing Ellery Kingsman's clothes. At his feet lies a black felt hat. Roll for initiative, please.
Oh yeah!
Oh, nat 20.
4.
That makes two of us. That that would make Theodek at 22.
That would make Grungish a 22.
What is your modifier, sir?
As
Plus
gentlemen,
2, funny enough.
No, what's your score, sorry?
14.
Damn, we are exactly the same.
I'll let you two decide who wants to go first. You can toss a coin or do what you like, but you both are.
I'll tell you what, roll again. I got a 14.
18.
You go first, sir.
I am ready for this. I am riled. So yes,
So, sorry, who's going first?
Theodek will rush forward.
I got a 4, so definitely probably not me.
So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. We have 5 goes before you have a turn.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's the order? Dougie first, is it?
No. Theodek's first
Okay.
with the 22.
Yeah,
Then Grungish with the 22.
yeah. Okay,
And then our good friend Bale.
Bale with a 4.
got ya.
When he decides to join in, he might. Yeah.
If the ghoul lasts that long.
So, Theodek, you're up first.
Does it? Sorry, excuse me. Does it take a free action to stow a weapon and then another free action to draw another weapon?
No, it's not a free action to stow a weapon. It's.
You can ready an action beforehand.
You can
as
drop a
trigger.
weapon as a free action.
Right. Okay. Would it be fair to say that I put my swords away?
Well, yeah, we just go over a trap.
I'm going to say you've just pulled yourself out of a trap, so yeah.
Otherwise, you might have poked yourself in the eyes and grabbed hold of the ledge.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
But yes, Theodek, Warhammer, shield, rushes in because the asshole in the last room with the ghoul got there and killed it before I got a hit. So I burned my last rage because this person obviously put his hands on Laura. So that is my third and final rage of the day.
So as
And I'm...
okay.
Carry on.
No, go on. Sorry.
I'm rushing in to smack him in the face, reckless.
Okay.
All the shenanigans.
So it looks up at you as you head towards it and lets out a scream.
I roar back, frothing at the mouth.
Tell Laura I love her.
Right.
I'm not
How many people like this bloody Laura now?
Oh no, she's a star.
So
That's Colin's song.
I have advantage. So let's see what I can do. Does a 16 hit?
Oh, you frenzying?
It does.
I am reckless attack. Yes.
Oh, nice.
So that's a D8 plus 4. That's an 8. So 12 damage.
Okay.
Kathunk with a big heavy warhammer.
Lovely jubbly.
And that is all I can do.
Grungish.
Seeing Theodek going into a rage, Grungish is going to follow exactly the same. He's going to reckless and frenzy. Oh, I tell you what, I'm glad I frenzied. I recklessed. I rolled a nat 1 and a nat 20.
There are numbers in between those two.
I know, but that's what I rolled. Fuck. Right. 6, 10, 18. 18 plus 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23 points of damage as my sword bites deep into this ghoul.
Bloody hell. Okay.
That's half orc. On a crit you do double weapon die, and a half orc you get another weapon die anyway.
Alright. So the ghoul reels in pain. I like my soundboard. Sorry.
That's quite cool, actually.
I've got a load more on there. I'm looking forward to playing some more of them in future things.
What
Anyway,
soundboard is it?
I'll show you later when
Alright.
I'll send you the link for it. It's an app. It's an Android app on the thing.
Android. I'm iOS, unfortunately.
Oh, I'll send you the thing anyway in case it's
Yeah.
cross-platform, whatever you want to call it these days. Okay, right. So the ghoul is going to lunge at one of you. Gets a multi-attack. This particular ghoul. So his first attack is going to be at. Who's in the middle? Is Grungish even.
Yep, so he's got advantage.
And 13 to hit. Misses. Okay, and the second is going to be a bite attack. And this will be at Theodek.
Yeah.
Oh, nat 20. 22 total.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll kind of hit.
Out.
Don't forget, double the weapon die.
Yeah.
White is what, 2d6?
That's all right, I don't mind.
12, 13, 16, 18 total damage.
9.
So
Piercing. 18 piercing.
So 9. Thank God for rage. I am still quite sturdy though. I'm still in double digits.
Okay, and Bale is up.
Right. I keep forgetting my name is Bale.
Sorry.
Christian.
I'm going to draw my longbow, keeping well back.
Oh, hold
Aim
on.
a shot.
I've got a sign. I've got a
You got a sound for that?
yeah, longbow. There you go. Did you get that?
Love it.
That's assuming he hits.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Have you
This
got
is
the
it.
sound of a string snapping?
Doing.
It has many sounds.
Okay.
Go on.
10.
10 miss. He's miss.
Boing.
I think I might even have a defense one here. Block. What sort of armor would he have? He's going to dodge. Look. Oh, that was depressing. There you go. That's a dodge anyway.
Lovely.
Okay, Theodek, you're back up.
Cool. I am reckless, smacking him in the face. Oh, you should have had advantage, by the way, but I don't think you needed it with a nat 20.
Ah.
15 plus 4, 19 to hit.
Yeah, that does the job.
The 8 plus 4. I'll roll that again because it's off the desk. 10.
10.
You can't reckless 2 turns in a row. It's only the first turn. Oh no, it's the first attack on your turn. Sorry.
He is
So 10 damage, yeah?
10 damage.
Nice.
He's looking a bit rough, this ghoul, I'll be honest.
He hit a lady.
He hit a lady. You convinced it's him then, eh? Grungish.
Grungish is going to reckless 2. AC 20 to hit.
Yeah.
And that's going to do... Oh, I rolled a 1.
1 damage.
1 for 6 slashing damage. But my Path of the Berserker means I can use my bonus action to get another attack. Oh, very nice. AC 21 to hit.
I want your dice. I think you need to post them to me. They seem to be very good.
Drop them around
That's a
after
hit.
the game.
Yeah, they're nice dice.
I don't think they've rolled under 17 all night.
Oh, I have. I've got some 2s and 4s and 7, 10, 12 slashing.
Okay, how do you want to finish this ghastly creature off?
So I swing at it with my longsword once, and I just make it a sort of glancing blow across his chest. And as I look across, I see Theodek sort of grin And with that, I then bring the longsword round in a big arcing blow, and again lop this ghoul's head clean off. And I just look at Theodek and grin as I do so.
He's gone. So, okay, so the ghoul is on the floor now in a pool of ghoulish blood. There's a pile of clothes, there's this felt hat. Bale, you're a magic user, aren't you?
Ish, a little bit.
Do
I believe rangers are half casters.
Yeah. You other two don't have any magic, do you?
My skills with the longsword may be deemed magical.
Theodek is just a muscle wizard. He uses pure muscle to do everything.
Okay. So Bale, if you want to give us an Arcana check with advantage, and Grungish, you can just give us a regular Arcana check.
I haven't got anything on Arcana.
Ooh, okay. Well, I rolled an 18 and a 19, so...
Oh,
I rolled a 3, so that's +1, so 4 for Arcana.
So
I'm gonna do the barbarian thing and roll to see if I get anything. I will roll again because it fell off the desk. Natural 1. So that's a 1.
Okay. So Bale, you notice as you guys start looking around the room, there's a pile of gentlemen's outfits, gentlemen's clothes, a suit to be precise, all intact except for a pair of pants. And this felt hat that's on the floor is giving off a magical aura as well. So the three of you, if you can give us perception checks as well.
I like perception. I'll do a perception roll.
17.
Oh, lovely.
21.
Natural 20.
Okay. So you're all going to notice the secret door that's just behind the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
So there's a secret door behind the sarcophagus, which is easy enough to open, and it's a little treasure room that Peregrine Kingsman had put in his burial chamber to keep his most private possessions.
Okay.
Going hard!
So inside the treasure room, you'd find a broken empty chest and an intact chest. The intact chest contains an ornate dagger worth 125 gold pieces. There's a pouch with 200 silver pieces and a silver necklace and a scroll of guiding bolt. And also this felt hat that's lying next to the body of the ghoul that's giving off this magical aura. Over to you.
Gentlemen, I'm sure Colin will pay you for what you have found, but looting the undead is not good. I believe we should leave this here. If it were to disappear after my mission was complete, I would not raise an eyebrow, but I will not allow it to go while I'm here.
It's not one, not.
I have to say, I do agree that we should probably take some of this for further investigation as to why this has happened.
Okay. Anything you particularly want to look at?
I'm rage looting everything.
I'm making a note of exactly what was in here so I can let Colin know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm splitting it around the party, but I am rage looting the chest. Like, if it was possible to have a visual on it, parts of the chest are now falling to pieces where I'm ripping stuff open to get to other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I throw a bag of silver pieces to the ranger and the dagger to the sack of green, brown nose goop that we all know and love.
Okay.
And anything else, just stuff in my own pockets. So.
Okay. Anyone want to take the hat, or are you just concentrating on the treasure?
I mean, I wouldn't know to take the hat. To me, it's just an item of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to take. I'm going to take some of the treasure. I might take a look at the hat, but probably wouldn't pocket it.
As you pick the hat up, you kind of sense the magic of the item, and you sense that it has the ability to change your appearance into something else. It is in fact a hat of disguise.
Hello?
Hello.
You found a hat of disguise.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank
Yes,
you.
you pick the hat up and you can kind of sense that it's not a normal hat. It's got the power to change the appearance of whomever is wearing it. Putting two and two together, it appears that the ghoul was using the hat and the clothes together as a disguise to dupe Miss Laura Kingsman.
Right, okay.
In fact, when you report back to Colin, the city chief, he takes one look at the hat and tells you of a similar case he heard of when he first started in the town watch, where a hat was used as a disguise, and he said that ghouls are known to form attachments to humans, and can become quite troublesome, almost like stalkers if they're not kept in check. He's quite happy that the mystery is solved. He goes and reports back to Laura, tells her that her husband did in fact die of natural causes in the end. Actually, no, that's not quite correct. Her husband was killed by the ghoul, who had taken a shine to her and then disguised himself as her husband to come back and try and live as he did with her.
And thanks to Theodek, he now rests very peacefully.
In bits.
Who killed it?
No.
Yeah.
The husband now rests peacefully.
So that's...
Because Theodek put the body back and Theodek restored the sarcophagus, because no one else done any bloody work to it. They all was looking at a damn door.
So that's pretty much the conclusion. The long and short of it, if there was another NPC, which was George, the personal assistant, if you'd gone to speak to him, he would have told you that a few days after the body had been taken away, he found a bottle of poison that had been fallen on the floor and kicked under a cabinet, and that had led him to suspect foul play. And in fact,
I suspected.
You did suspect, yeah. In fact, the story was that this ghoul had taken a shine to Laura Kingsman. She's an attractive lady, as we all know. Had killed the husband and had used a hat of disguise to come back in his place.
I believe it was also Theodek's idea to go to the crypt, so I'll thank myself for that idea.
I would tell Colin about the two guards who were trying to obstruct our investigation by not granting us access to the cemetery.
I'd just be eager to get back to my forest.
Yeah.
I'll be eager to... Actually, no, I'm not eager.
So shortly after you explain to Colin what's happened and everything, all your various investigations and whatever, you start to drift off uncontrollably into slumber, and you awake wherever it was you started in the first place.
With another love bead up your bum.
With one of Colin's love beads. So Theodek, you're back in the church with your companions.
Oh, lovely.
Bale, you're back in the wilderness. And Grungish, you're back in your barracks or wherever it is the town guard start their day. So there we go.
Yeah, I get to play with bloody vampires next.
So just for the benefit of people at home looking at the module, originally it was designed for level 1 characters, party of level 1 characters, so I altered a few bits. Originally, instead of a gelatinous cube, it was a grey ooze. Instead of a ghast, it was a regular ghoul from the monster manual, and the ghoul at the end was also a regular ghoul, but for our adventure I gave it a bit of a boost, upped its AC and hit points, and gave it an extra attack. So that's how I rebranded it for party of level 3 adventures. Other than that, it is as it is. So hope you enjoyed watching. See you again another time.